And that leads me to this person, Rebekah Jones. Rebekah Jones may ring a bell, but most people couldn't pick her out of a lineup. She's this activist down in Florida who hates Ron DeSantis. And she styled herself as a whistleblower during COVID and said, I've got all these real data about the death toll and the disease and so on that Ron DeSantis won't share with you. Long story short, she turned out to be a serial liar. She, in the words of Charles C.W. Cook on National Review, became famous for raising hundreds of thousands of dollars off the back of a series of brazen deceptions about Florida's response to COVID. She's been arrested for threatening, and she struck a plea deal that agreed she had accessed computers illegally, and actually that plea deal required her to pay restitution and get the mental health help Rebekah Jones clearly so desperately deserves. Why am I mentioning her? Because Rebekah Jones has a 13-year-old son who was arrested this week, I think it was yesterday, for threatening to shoot up a school. Here's the Pensacola News-Journal with the story. An incident report released Thursday afternoon by the Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office alleges the 13-year-old made repeated threats to shoot up Holly Navari Middle School and to stab students who had angered him. Investigators interviewed multiple students who spoke with the teen, as well as those who saw messages he posted to social media. In messages to his friends, he made the following statements. I want to shoot up the school. If I get a gun, I'm going to shoot up, LOL. I'm getting, it must have been an abbreviation about the school. I'm getting a Wrath and Natural Selection shirt, so maybe I don't think many people know what the Columbine shooters look like. Okay, so it's been like 3 or 4 weeks since I got my new antidepressants and they aren't working, but they're supposed to by now, so I have no hope in getting better, so why not kill the losers at school? He told one of his friends that he planned to shoot up the school the Thursday before spring break, but there were too many things going on, so he postponed it to March 31st. The students reported the claims to the school prior to that date. The investigation was launched. And now, yesterday, Rebekah Jones comes out playing the victim. My family is not safe, she tweeted. My son has been taken on the governor's orders, and I've had to send my husband and daughter out of the state for their safety. This is the reality of living in DeSantis's Florida. There's no freedom here, only retaliatory rule by a fascist who wishes to be king. Now, it would be bad enough if she tweeted that, given these circumstances. Enter the Miami Herald, right? With about 30 seconds of research, they could have figured out what had happened here. But instead, they ran with this headline. 13-year-old son of Rebekah Jones, whistleblower who clashed with DeSantis, arrested over memes. Memes, Dennis? I just went through the 10 statements this kid made threatening to shoot up schools, specifically the schools, to his friends, online, in person. Exactly why, Columbine, we could go through the list. And that's the headline which, now that it's been publicly shamed, the Miami Herald has finally changed to son of Rebekah Jones, Florida whistleblower, arrested in probe of threatening internet posts. This is what we're up against. This is what we, the American people, are up against.
There is no distinction in left-wing papers between the editorial pages, opinion pages, and news pages. And that is just another example. I'll give a trivial one, but it's very, very indicative. So I get Google alerts on my name. I want to see what hate has been directed to me on any given day, what they say. I find it fascinating. I sleep very well, but I find it fascinating. At any rate, whenever I'm described, or for that matter, anybody equivalent anyone similar to me in talk radio or in podcasting or whatever, conservative radio talk show host or right-wing radio talk show host Dennis Prager. And I would then Google, did that newspaper ever say liberal talk show host or broadcaster or leftist? The norm for American newspapers, the norm is leftism. Therefore, there's no reason to cite that you're a leftist. But the other is always noted, and as I gave in the case of conservative. There's one more factor here on the Christian issue. I've written a book. Among my books is a book on anti-Semitism. It's called Why the Jews? It's in its third printing. It's been out for decades. It explains anti-Semitism. I taught Jewish history on the college level at Brooklyn College, my first job, basically. And I have an interesting question to ask. How come there's a name for Jew hatred? There's a name for Islamo hatred or Islamic hatred. There is a name for race hatred. How come there's no name for Christian hatred? Are there no people who hate Christianity? It is without question the most hated group in the world today, with the possible exception of the Uyghurs in China. But it doesn't even have a name. So I'm reacting to your pointing out the Miami Herald. We bathe in dishonesty with the American media.
Sure, you can go to Brazil or Colombia and get some crazy stuff done to your face, but why would you do that? Here's a real review from Genucel.com. Claire writes, I absolutely love Genucel. My skin feels so good, tighter, younger, with a more even tone, and I only used it for a week. My advice for everyone, take a before picture. Then there's Jim, who makes another point, writing in, wife loves it. Ever since I purchased it for her, things got much more interesting after dark. Enough said. It's true. Nothing works like Genucel because it is a family recipe for over 20 years, made by a compounding pharmacist in small batches and always safe, cruelty-free, and natural. Right now, go to Genucel.com/MK60 and save over 70% off Genucel's most popular package. That's all their best stuff, including now their ultra retinol and dark spot corrector. Don't wait. Go to Genucel.com/MK60. All orders upgraded to free shipping, and every subscription order includes a complimentary spring spa box with 3 spa essentials, also free. Limited time. Visit now. Genucel.com/MK60. That's GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.